Hello. Got a PlayStation 4 Slim. It doesn't pair with a controller. If I push, it says down the bottom, press the PS button to use controller. So we're plugged in with a white cable, and if I push the PS button, we get our blinking light. And that's all it does. It never pairs with it. So, a bit different. It has got power, obviously, but I did check there's 5 volts at the connector. So let's do a reboot in safe mode and just see if it works. So we hold down the button until the second beep. And it should come up in safe mode, recovery, something like that. Connect controller and press the PS button. Get rid of some of that glare. Okay, so I'm going to push the button. And we have our flashing light, and it should have paired by now. It's still not pairing, so clearly we have a hardware fault, not a software fault. I would imagine if it was just a software fault, it would work in safe mode. So we get to rip it apart. With the shields off, we can see that our data lines from the USB port come, this port comes down here, along here, and down the side into some kind of IC under here. So I guess we need to be sure that this IC has power and is firmly attached to the board, I guess. Who knows, maybe it was dropped or something, I don't know. We can see that this USB port has data lines that snake down this way and down this way, and also end up at the same IC. So at this point I'm going to reattach the flex cables and stick the power supply back in, because I did unplug it, but I hadn't planned on taking the board off. I could have left it on. So we'll put that back in, we'll turn it on. We will be looking for some sort of acceptable voltage, like 3 volts on some of these capacitors around here, that would suggest that that chip is getting power. We will also scope these data lines up here to see if there is some kind of signaling going on there. If there isn't, there's either a disconnect between here and the IC. If there is, I don't have a scope that decodes USB to see if it's valid, but you know, I'd say some signals are good and no signals would be bad. But if there is, then I'm not sure what that, maybe it would signify a bad chip, maybe it's unable to decipher at the other end. Maybe only one of these lines has a signal, but both of them don't work, so it's definitely related to both. Up here we have a tiny little component here. It's a little inductor, pass-through inductor. I have checked the resistance on each side of that. It's tiny. It's connected, so the path through to the port, as far as that goes, is okay on both sides. Right, well, we're booted up and we have the controller plugged in, and if we probe on one of the data lines here, we have, it looks like about 3 volts, and if I push the PS button, the controller starts flashing and we have no activity on there. If we look at the one beside it, we also have no activity on there. I would think we would have something And if I unplug the controller, do we lose our... I don't know if we lose our... it stays at 3 volts. Okay. And just because we can, there's the other side. So we'll plug in the controller. If we look at this side, we have nothing. If we look at this side, we have our 3 volts. So clearly no communication taking place. And if we look here, little inductor that I was talking about, we can see on this side we have, these are 3 volts, and on this side we have nothing. And if we check the other side, they should be the same. Here's our 3 volts. So that proves that I've tested continuity and it does pass through. So we have no signal coming from our main IC that's somewhere all the way up here, somewhere under that pile of capacitors there is some kind of chip, USB controller, and maybe something else. So we have a probe around here and we'll see what we've got. So we've got there's a capacitor here. Oh, you can't really see that. There we go. Capacitor here gives us 3 volts. We'll go for one that's underneath the chip, like that one there. It's got 1 volt, sorry, it's got 1 volt on it, so it's probably okay. This one up here, so that's got 3 volts. So looking around, there's a volt. Everything seems to have power and should be operating, so I guess we need to flip the board and just see what's going on the other side there with that chip, if there's any physical damage. If not, I don't know, we'll try a reflow perhaps and see if that fixes it. Failing that, we may need a new chip. Who knows, maybe someone plugged in some kind of damaged USB device and it zapped the thing to death. So this guy, the CXD90042GG, is the south bridge apparently, and the south bridge connects the processor to the peripherals, so input output control, including USB. So there's either something wrong with this, or the connection from this to the board, or the connection of this to the processor, and in a worst case situation, the connection of the processor to the main board. It's not connecting the tracks to this particular device. And I say worst case situation because I don't really have the equipment to properly reflow the processor, just because it's so large. I could give it a go with the hot plate and the hot air gun, but there's a great risk that it could wind up not working at all after that, not even booting. It'd be better on a proper reflow machine. It's so big I can't even get it all in one shot. But very last resort, you don't want to reflow that as a first attempt. So I think what we'll do is reflow this one as our first attempt, because there's a whole lot less that can go wrong as a result of that. We've got, well, it's got its own, looks like a crystal there and a crystal here, so I just make sure they're still attached to the board. It's got, seems to be a ROM here, could be the BIOS. It's a WinBond chip, and then there's an IC here which could be a small amount of RAM for this thing to operate with. Just a guess. So we've got a heat transfer pad. Okay, there's a little IC under here. This appears to be a voltage regulator under here. There's some inductors around here, so I'd imagine this is switching to create a number of rails, probably the ones that we saw. I saw 5, 3, 1, so I would think that's operating. We don't need to worry about that. So let's give that a reflow and test after that. Okay, let's get heating. It looks like it cycles from 2 to 300 C on the thermostat. The board is sitting about 150. It's about as hot as it's going to get, but it's better than nothing. We want to get it all liquid and just give it a slight nudge. See, it's floating on there. Now I've got it at 370 Celsius on the hot air. I'm just keeping a distance and just letting it gradually come right up. I can really feel the heat coming off that tray. There we go. Okay, let's replace this chip. Let's make sure you know where pin 1 is. We've got the white dot there, and there's a little dot in the copper under the green there on the green. So yeah, they got to line up. Coming up to temp on the preheater. So we're in the hot air now. I'm going to give it 410 at full speed and just from a bit of a distance, and we'll see how we go. Notice these resistors around it. We don't want to knock them off when we pick it up, so just keep an eye on all of that. There we go. And while it's hot, we can wick all of that up. Everything's still in place. I don't think we knocked anything off. She's still on the hot plate, so it makes it nice and warm to work with in a way. Just means everything's going to evaporate pretty quick. Yep, the new one does come with balls. I was hoping it would. It looks fairly new. They're probably going to be leaded anyway. Nope. wonder if that's dead nuts even on the pads. She looks fairly square between those little corner sections there, so I guess there's one way to find out. Let's just get it flowing. Almost up to temp. Let's bring in the hot air. Hopefully we don't blow it around. And hopefully we'll see it hop into place. Not quite there yet. Oh, there we go. Yep. Here we go. Okay, let's see. How well do we get it lined up? Oh, yeah. Looks like they're kind of squashed nicely, isn't it? Check all sides. Not too bad. Oh, it's a little bit long in the board to really see. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Shoot. Oh no! We seem to have a bit of a solder bridge down there. Oh no. How are we going to clear that? That's no good. Here's hoping all the ones in the middle are okay. I don't even bump it that much. It's interesting. Alright. Lots of flux and a little hope. See if we can separate that. I have done it before once. I wonder if those two normally are joined. Let's see if we can't see the traces between them. Hopefully. Hopefully. Can we get in a bit closer? Where's my torch? Here we go. No, they are definitely supposed to be separated. Crap. How am I going to do that? That's on a flipping ground plane. Well, look at it, or some large flood fill there. It's gonna suck all my heat away while I try and deal with it. Okay, so there's our little bridge on the left, and I'm going to come in, I'm going to get it liquid, and I'm going to come in with a fine tweezer end, and I'm going to try and encourage them to separate. Wish me luck. Let's turn the air down a little bit, and probably the temperature. We don't want to float the chip while it's on its side, or it might fall off. I'm gonna go about 370. We'll just gently warm it up while we see what we can do. It's the board is sitting between a couple of between vice jaws, but it's just sort of leaning back. It's not sandwiched upright. I don't have the room to do that under the microscope. Hopefully the heat in the board and the weight of the board hanging off the jaws doesn't make the board want to bend, but I don't think it will, because I'm only focusing it in one spot for a short period. So I'll put some flux on there, and there we go. Let's see how skilled I am. I am concerned that there might be a bridge under the chip as well, but I didn't push down on the chips. I'm not quite sure what happened there with those two, and I don't think it moved a great deal, but I suppose there's a chance when I did the bump test pushed it a little too far, but that doesn't explain why none of the other ones under there are separated still. So here we go. I'll run the hot air at some distance first and just try and bring the board up. Touch the back of the board though, she's pretty hot already. This may go a little quicker than I expected. Get the tweezer in there so it's hot as well, so when the solder melts it doesn't cool down and stop it from separating. Solder, oh there we go. If I touch it with the tweezer, it wants to melt. Bit more flux perhaps. Hey, there we go. gotta keep them separated. Bow, bow, bow. So here we go, let's have a look. That's good. That's what we want to see. I'll check around the side, and we'll probably join two more together around the side. No, look at that, they're separate. That's fantastic. It's funny how the ones in the middle kind of look like they're fatter than the one in the corners. But, we've already checked these, we know they're good. See, it's fine. It's fine. It's just flux in there. It's not bridged. But it's otherwise fine. Cool. Alright, let's get this back together, see if it works. So we should probably check the capacitors in the area for shorts to prove that there's no rails shorted and balls shorted under the chip and so forth. So we're going from ground, which is our big copper area. There you go. I'm just going to test each side of the capacitors. One will be ground and one won't. So that's not. That's good. That's good. So if we come over here, no. No. Cool, so it looks like there's no issues with that. So we can assume all the other balls are okay. Fairly well evenly spaced under there. Almost forgot to put the coin cell back in. And we don't want to do that because it may have an issue with booting. I don't know. Better safe than sorry. Get it all together, find out it doesn't work all for a coin cell. So for this we'll just put in a couple of screws to make sure the thermal pads are held on. Now you'd have to wonder, you know, what could possibly have killed the Southbridge chip, if that is what's happened. You know, is it a bad controller? Or was it some other device they plugged into the controller socket? Seems a bit weird overall. Do I plug in the one it came with, or could it be bad? I might plug in one that I've got, because I know this works. Or on a cable into the front of the machine, and then we'll power on. We should get a light. We had the light because we knew it was charging last time. And I'm gonna hold the button down. It should beep twice. We should go into safe mode. So we'll do that. We don't want it to start up just yet. 2 beeps, so the brain is functioning. What comes up on the screen? Connect dual shock and press the PS button. Okay, PS button, go. Look at that! Look at that! It works! Southbridge chip. I wonder how often they fail. Cool. Alright, let's let it boot, restart and see what happens. Hope I put enough thermal paste on that. I'm going to have to redo it, but we'll just give it a quick test. I've got no speakers on this, so it's just a monitor. Oh, it's looking good. Here we go. Here we go. What's going on? What's going on? How do I do this? I'm blinking. Oh, I'm purple. What does that mean? Is it trying to connect wirelessly? Press the PS button to use the controller. I did. Why did it work in safe mode? No! I just plugged it into the other USB port and it went blank. What the? I think it's going to sleep mode. It's lost the video. That's weird. Okay, it's shut down. I'll turn it back on. Give us a logo. Surely it's not in some resolution mode that it should be. I mean, it looks like it's booting. We've got the blinky blue light. We've booted, we've got the white light. I might have to try the safe mode again. No, something's gone wrong. It's in safe mode and it's got no image still. Dang! Haha! Look, there was a picture. It was just checking storage. Now, what I've done is I've reflowed that chip again. Made sure it was nice and jiggly on the pads. Gave it a little poke, and it's got our picture back. So that's good to know. The picture retimer chip, HDMI chip, isn't bad. The processor's not bad, although it was booting with no picture, so we knew that was unlikely to be the processor. And yeah, the controller's working again. It come up with the menu on first turn on, safe mode menu. But yep, here we go. Here we go. Let's see if this is going to work. Is this going to work? Got to connect. How do I connect? Press the PS button on the controller. PS button pushed. So this is where we got to last time, then we lost the picture. Oh. Okay, the light stopped flashing. Ah! Look! It's doing something. I don't know what the passcode is. Can we go back? How do we passcode is not correct. I don't know. It's not it's a bit strange, but it's been on for a lot longer than before. It's not responding again. Enter is X. O is back. It's not responding. I wonder if it's still working. Hang on. This is so weird. I might just shut down and restart and see what happens. I don't think. I'm pretty sure this controller is good for a Slim. I think I figured it out. Well, I did. It was working. Ah. Okay. It was working. I think I know what it is. I think this being a wireless controller is probably connecting to it wirelessly anyway, even though it's plugged into a cable. I think the cable's just for charge. And I have not yet plugged the antenna cable in. So I'm going to shut it down and do that, and we'll see what happens. Alright, final test. Here we go. Okay, no cable, we're not plugged in. Press the PS button. It should pair. Alright, that paired pretty quick. Does it work? Got O for back. O. Yay! And I'm actually a reasonable distance from the console. So it needed the antenna. That's all it did. Excellent. It looks like this thing's fixed. And I can't play any games because they always need the CD, but okay. This looks good to me. Let's just jump into some... I want to go to one that doesn't have a password. There we go. Got a menu up. Awesome. Alright, there we have it. Not a lot going on in the main board there between the processor and the USB, other peripherals. One chip. If the connection's fine to that chip, nothing works, she's a pretty good bet. Okay, so we're all back into it. Put the cover back on. I want to try. Here's the controller that it came with, and this is the one that they're going to use when, well, it's the only one they've got with it. It says it's a Nikon brand and it's for a PS4. So it's a strange chip to fail, I guess, but I'm hoping it wasn't the controller that caused the failure because it's not genuine PlayStation or Sony, and maybe there's got a problem with it, but hard to know. I might just plug it into my USB charger and just see if it's pulling excess current or anything funny like that. No, it doesn't pull any current or anything. But this one's not wireless, whereas that one is. So yeah, but we know it didn't work. It didn't work prior. We did the test in safe mode. But let's plug this in and just see what happens. Okay, it lights up. But now we have to find a way to... Oh, there we go. So now I've pushed PS button, it's using it. Here we go. Oh, wait. Alright, so we're okay. We're okay. It looks like it's good to go. Awesome. Hope you enjoyed that one. And hopefully it helps you resolve issues with your PlayStation controller not working. Be interesting to know how often this sort of failure occurs, but it's the first time that I've seen it. So thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.